Good morning. Good morning. It's kind of weird watching yourself on the big screen. And it's very hard to watch yourself doing something like that. I had to walk out of the sanctuary and I'm like, ugh. So how many people got into a fight this week? I tell you, for those of us that don't get it very well or often, like me, God puts fight after fight after fight after fight in your life. But, and I said, if you're not going to pick a fight, God is going to choose one for you. And that's kind of me, because I don't like confrontation, so God put me in a couple situations. So, that was last week. And I challenge you, to continue to use that. I'm going to continue to use it, because I definitely need a lot of work, and God is still working on me. But the past few weeks, we've been talking about how to build strong families. And my prayer is this, that we continue to build strong families. There is no such thing as a perfect family. But there is such thing as strong families, isn't there? And that's my prayer. That's my prayer for my family too. No matter what that family looks like. Maybe it's a single family, a single parent family, or maybe you're a couple with no kids, or maybe you're in an empty nest, or you have a standard family that, husband and wife and 2.4 kids. We can also look at this and we can strengthen the Grace family too. And we've been watching these videos about a guy named Jake. And to kick off this series a few weeks ago, we watched the movie here To Save a Life. And we've been following this guy for the last several weeks. And this guy's named Jake, and he's a senior in high school. And he's struggling with a lot of different stuff. He's the star basketball player of his high school. He has a scholarship. He's getting ready to get off to college, and so he has this kind of stuff going for him. But he's really struggling with the death of his friend, and his parents are working through some issues, and his girlfriend's working through some issues, and through all this, he meets this guy named Chris, and he's a youth pastor of a church, and he starts even attending church. And one day, as he's walking past his dad's office, his dad decides to give him some fatherly advice, and this is kind of how that interaction went. Basically what's going on is this. Jake's dad is very concerned about Jake going to church and his schedule and how that's going to affect his scholarship and how that's going to affect his life. And so that's kind of how the interaction, the fatherly advice was just kind of like, I have nothing against religion, but you know what, you have a lot of stuff on your plate, you better, you have to set your priorities straight is pretty much what he's telling Jake. And Jake said, you know what, don't worry about it. Because, and that's kind of how the interaction went. And the scene closes with Jake saying, good talk, Dad. And he walks down the hall. So, the thing is, Jake's dad is concerned about Jake. And so he's asking these questions. And, like any father would be concerned about their children. If you ask anybody that has a newborn baby, right after the baby's born, and a lot of us are parents here, and when we can really relate to this, because when the newborn is is just a child, don't we want what's best for them? We start dreaming for that with that child, what the future's going to be like, and they're going to be the prodigal child, they're going to be the best of everything, and we start dreaming all this stuff. But the bottom line is we want what's best for their lives. And this parental homing beacon follows us throughout the child's life. Ask any parent when their child is 3 or 8 or a teenager, and they'll say the same thing. We just want what's best for our child, right? And so, no young man or woman can experience the best unless they know how to make good decisions. At the top of our child raising checklist has to be instilling in our children the ability to reason wisely, to make savvy choices, to analyze options and come up with great conclusions, and then follow through on them. This raises a question in our lives, doesn't it? How do you help children make great decisions? And whether you're a grandparent, whether you are a mother or a father, whether you're an aunt or an uncle, these principles that we're going to talk about applies to every single area of our life. So you may say, oh, he's talking about parenting, and my kids are grown up and gone. Or maybe you're sitting there saying, it's that this just doesn't apply to you. As this sermon unfolds, realize this, that these principles apply to every single one of us. And you'll see how that unfolds here. But how do you help children understand right from wrong? How do you help them set priorities? How do you help them to come to conclusions? How do you help them sort out the good from the best? Because we want what's best, don't we? How do you instill in them with the discipline and the desire to seek the best, rather than just the easiest plan? I don't know about you, but in my life, I've probably taken the easiest plan. And there's a template in Scripture that is laid out for us. And this template is found in Deuteronomy chapter 6. And if you don't know anything about Deuteronomy is found in the Old Testament, and it's a record of Moses giving last instructions before the nation Israel goes into the promised land. And what's happening is this. The Exodus already happened. Okay, the splitting of the Red Sea that we childhood Sunday school classes, we hear of Moses splitting the Red Sea. That's already occurred. The 10 Commandments have already been given. And Moses is on the plains of Moab, and they're about ready to enter into the promised land. And Moses stops and he says, listen to this. Remember God's promises. Remember God's promises, that He's your God. And here's some instructions for you. And this is what it says in Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 4 through 7. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your might. And these words that I have commanded you today shall be on your heart. You shall teach them diligently to your children, and shall talk of them when you sit in your house, and when you walk by the way, and when you lie down, and when you rise. And in here, we have a template to raise good decision makers. Actually, this is a template for all of us to make good decisions. And this morning, this is kind of a hard-hitting, kind of like lay it out type thing. So that's kind of that's where we're going to go, because it's kind of challenges us all to raise our game here.